Hi, everyone, and welcome back to From the Book Nook. I'm Anne.
And I'm Greg. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Today, we're talking about The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt. And wow, this book really gave me a lot to think about.
Oh, same here. I knew about some of these issues. Like, you hear about how social media isn't great for kids, but the way Haidt breaks it down, it's honestly kind of terrifying.
Totally. Like when he starts off with the data, the rise in anxiety and depression since 2012, and ties it to smartphones and social media, it's like, oh wow, this isn't just a phase.
Right, it's not just kids these days. It's like this huge societal shift that's rewired how kids grow up. And he doesn't sugarcoat it. That bit about social deprivation, how kids aren't developing the same social skills because they're on their phones instead of playing outside.
Yeah, and then don't forget sleep deprivation. He makes such a good point about how, even if kids want to stop scrolling, the way these apps are designed just keeps them hooked. Like, I get it. It's hard for adults to stop, so imagine being a teenager.
Exactly. And one thing that really hit me was when he talked about how this affects girls in particular. You know, the whole compare and despair thing? Like, constantly seeing these filtered, curated lives on Instagram? It's brutal.
Yeah, and then boys, they have their own struggles too. Like he mentions how video games can sort of replace real-world interactions for some of them. It's not exactly the same problem, but it's all tied into this bigger picture of, what does he call it? The Great Rewiring?
Mm-hmm. The great rewiring of childhood. And, I also thought his points about parenting were spot on. He doesn't blame kids for being glued to their phones. He's really saying hey, parents, schools, society, this is on us.
Oh, totally. That bit about safetyism, how we're so focused on keeping kids safe that we've kind of forgotten to let them take risks and just be kids.
Yes. He's not saying kids should go play in traffic or anything, but we've swung so far in the other direction. And then we hand them smartphones, which, as he puts it, are like slot machines in their pockets.
Oh my gosh, that analogy. It really stuck with me. I mean, it's kind of chilling when you think about it.
So let's talk about his solutions. Because I was like, please, Haidt, tell me what to do.
Same here. And I thought, his suggestions were actually pretty practical. Like, delaying smartphones until at least 8th grade? That makes so much sense.
Totally. And having family tech rules, like no phones at dinner or tech-free Sundays. Stuff like that. It's not about banning technology, but about creating healthier habits.
Yeah, and I like how he talks about bringing back unstructured play, too. Like letting kids just be outside and figure things out without constant adult supervision. It's so simple, but it's something we've kind of lost.
Definitely. And I think what makes this book so powerful is that it's not just doom and gloom, yeah, the problems are big, but he's hopeful that we can turn things around.
Oh, for sure. He's basically saying, we've done this to kids, but we can undo it. And I love that.
Same. So final thoughts, Greg?
Oh, it's a must-read for anyone raising kids or, working with them. It's eye-opening, and honestly, kind of a wake-up call.
Couldn't agree more. It's one of those books where you finish it and immediately start thinking about changes you can make.
Oh, and a quick shout-out. If you liked this book, check out iGen by Jean Twenge. It's another great deep dive into how the internet generation is growing up.
Yes. And also Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport. That one's more focused on adults, but it really gets into the whole mindfulness around technology.
Ooh, great one. Okay, that's it for today, folks. Thanks for listening to From the Book Nook.
And don't forget to subscribe. And if you've read The Anxious Generation, let us know what you think.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, keep reading mindfully.
Bye for now.